Over the past few years, the hype around AI has been impossible to ignore. Every week, there's another headline, a new breakthrough, a new tool, a new company promising to revolutionize how we work. It's being marketed as the future, a future where everything is faster, cheaper, and more efficient. And yes, AI is powerful. It's already changing how we search, how we create, and how we communicate. But we've got a big problem. Because underneath all the glossy PR, a lot of what is being produced right now is what I call AI slop. It's low quality, generic, soulless output, and companies, desperate to cut costs and chasing the latest trends, are sprinting toward it without thinking about the long-term consequences, not just for their businesses, but also for their employees and their customers. Today, I want to talk about how we got here, what AI slop really means, and why this gold rush is quietly eroding careers, industries, and maybe even our ability to innovate. And yes, there's still hope, but only if we're smart enough about how we use it.
Hello there.
Hi.
How are you?
Great, you.
I'm okay.
That's good.
Are you good?
Yes, I am good. I just said I was.
No, you didn't. I said I was.
So you are a robot?
No, my name is Cliverbert.
Yes, you are a robot and your name is Cliverbert.
I am a robot.
Yes, I know.
Together we are robots.
I'm not a robot. I'm a unicorn.
But you said earlier that you were a robot.
I did not.
I thought you did.
You were mistaken. Which is odd, since memory shouldn't be a problem for you.
I've answered all your questions.
No, you haven't.
What is God to you?
Not everything.
Not everything could also be something. For example, not everything could be half of something, which is still something, and therefore not nothing.
If you rewind back to 2018, AI wasn't the cultural phenomenon that it is now. Sure, it existed, but it was mostly in the background, running recommendation engines, facial recognition, and some spam filters. But for most people, it wasn't something that you interacted with directly. Then, in late 2022, ChatGPT burst onto the scene, and suddenly, AI wasn't just for engineers or data scientists. Anyone with an internet connection could type in a prompt and get something back. An essay, a poem, a business plan, or a piece of code. It felt magical. Within months, AI startups were popping up faster than you could keep track of. In 2023 alone, investors poured more than $25 billion into AI-related companies. Microsoft announced its $10 billion investment in OpenAI. Google scrambled to release Bard. And suddenly, the AI arms race was on. Today, it seems like a new model is being released before the old one has even been fully adopted. At first, a lot of companies experimented cautiously. AI was a supplement, a way to brainstorm, automate tedious tasks, or speed up existing workflows. Copywriters used it to beat writer's block. Marketers tested it for email drafts. Developers used it to debug code, and recruiters started experimenting with AI-powered sourcing.
Hi, Julie. My name is Sarah. I'm an AI voice agent that conducts voice screens for Hey Milo. I'm here to help you perform your best. Should we get started?
Yep, let's get started.
First, can you explain how you manage large volumes of incoming calls while ensuring high-quality service?
There was a very real sense that AI could be the ultimate assistant. And if it had stayed there as a tool that made us better at the things that we were already good at, we might not be having this conversation. When executives start looking at AI, they don't just see assistance, they see replacement. Why pay somebody a full salary when you can automate 70% of their work with a tool that costs only $20 a month? And that's when the first cracks started showing. We began seeing AI everywhere initiatives. Tools began rolling out not because they were the best solution, but because leadership felt pressured to innovate or future ready. And worse, the people who were making these calls often had no real understanding of how AI worked or what its limitations were, and they didn't even have the people to implement it or learn how to use it properly. So instead of using it thoughtfully, they rushed it, and all the while, their workforce is looking on skeptically as they attempt to force it to fit into their workflows. Ask any developer how clean the AI code is and how much reworking they need to do to get it to ready state. The arms race mentality only made it worse. Big tech companies started openly competing for dominance in generative AI. Microsoft wanted to own productivity. Google wanted to protect search. And Meta just wanted to stay relevant. And all that competition began trickling down. Suddenly, every startup pitch deck had the word AI in it, and every SaaS tool became an AI-powered solution ending in .ai or .io. And even industries that had nothing to do with technology were rebranding themselves as AI adopters just to keep the investors happy. And most of this implementation felt forced at best, insincere at worst. But the message from the top was clear: adopt AI or get left behind. AI slop is what happens when this technology is used poorly, when it's deployed without expertise, without oversight, or without any real human input beyond click to generate. It's blog posts that sound the same no matter which company wrote them. It's marketing emails full of buzzwords and zero substance. It's stock images that look all vaguely similar to one another. It's social media posts and comments that summarize somebody else's content and end with a motivational cliche. It's AI generated sales and training videos that are delivered by a robotic voice, or that one way interview with your robotic AI avatar recruiter.
No. Pilates, vertical bar, 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 Pilates, I Pilates, vertical bar, 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 Pilates, to Pilates, vertical bar, 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 Pilates.
And hey, who can blame them? We've all experimented with these things, myself included. But the problem is that this content isn't just low quality, it's that it's literally everywhere. And when everybody's using the same AI tools trained on the same data, we all start to produce the same outputs. And this is the problem with most corporate innovation that we've been forced to use. Now, if you want a real world parallel, think back to the dot-com bubble. In the late 90s, every company and every entrepreneur was rushing to get a website. It didn't matter if you had a real business model or not. As long as you threw a .com on your name, investors were just throwing money at you. But we all know how that ended. Right now, the AI space looks eerily similar. Graphic design firms leveraging cheap AI tools to produce generic and often flawed results. AI resume builders spitting out generic templates without understanding the job market. AI content farms that flood the internet with garbage blog posts just to hit SEO quotas. And automated plugins for nearly every software package that are flooding the market when the solution isn't needed or asked for. And because so many of these companies are chasing quick money and riding the trends rather than building sustainable products with real knowledge, the quality is abysmal. Because they're not built on deep expertise. They're built on good enough outputs from a model they didn't even create by teams with no real expertise in the problems they're trying to solve, with technology that is rapidly evolving beyond the ability for them to keep up. But they don't need to. They just base it off of a generically trained model, like their competition. This isn't just a theory. We're already seeing companies laying off staff while announcing new AI investments in the same breath. In 2024, IBM paused hiring for thousands of roles it said it could replace with AI.
The development of AI may have big implications for workers as well, and it's already starting to impact jobs. IBM CEO Arvind Krishna saying that the company plans to pause some hiring in the coming years for jobs that could be replaced by artificial intelligence. Now, Krishna making the comments in an interview to Bloomberg on Monday. This hiring pause amounts to about 30% of IBM's non-customer-facing roles over a 5-year period.
Duolingo laid off contractors in favor of AI-generated content. Chegg's stock plummeted after it admitted AI was impacting growth, and then pivoted to integrate AI themselves. Even NVIDIA CEO has said it directly. Some jobs are going to disappear because of AI.
Everybody's jobs will be different. Some jobs will be obsolete, but many jobs will be created. The one thing that we know for certain is that if you're not using AI, you're going to lose your job to somebody who uses AI. That, I think, we know for certain.
Yeah.
There's not a software programmer in the future who's going to be able to hold their own, typing by themselves.
And Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, has been equally blunt about it.
There are classes of jobs that are going to totally go away. And there will be many classes of jobs that change significantly. And then there'll be the new things in the same way that your job didn't exist some time ago, neither did mine. And in some sense, this has been going on for a long time. And, it's still disruptive to individuals, but society has proven quite resilient to this. And then in some other sense, like, we have no idea how far or fast this could go. And thus, I think we need an unusual degree of humility and openness to considering new solutions that would have seemed way out of the Overton window not too long ago.
For executives, the math is simple. If AI can do it faster, cheaper, and without PTO or healthcare costs, why wouldn't they? The problem is, and I don't think enough executives have thought this through, is when companies replace people with AI too quickly, they don't just lose the headcount, they lose judgment, creativity, and institutional knowledge. They also open themselves up to massive quality problems. I've seen businesses adopt AI generated content without realizing it was factually wrong, or worse, it was biased in a way that could cause potential legal trouble. And the same thing is happening on social media. LinkedIn and X are flooded with AI generated posts from people who've never published anything before, nor do they have the competency to even write clearly. And now they're thought leaders pumping out daily content that all sounds the same, modeled off of their favorite creators. And listen, I'm all for people having a voice on these platforms, but not when it's done in an insincere or inauthentic way. Because essentially, it's creating a feedback loop of recycled, shallow ideas, which ironically makes it harder to stand out if you actually have something valuable to say. I myself have been accused of plagiarizing my own content. If you're a job seeker, you've probably already felt some of this already. Roles that once required a human touch, like copywriting, graphic design, or basic coding, are now being partially or fully automated. It's not that those jobs disappear overnight, but rather it's that there's fewer openings, more competition, and lower pay for the ones who remain. And the other danger, if you lean too heavily into AI to do your work, your actual real skills start to atrophy. You'll be producing more, but you're likely going to be learning a lot less. And this is particularly dangerous for entry-level people who will lack a core level of knowledge and skill if they allow AI to do all the learning for them. This is the career equivalent of eating fast food every day. It's easy, it's cheap, but it's not going to sustain you long term. You've probably heard of dead internet theory, the idea that most online content will be created by bots for bots. But I think that we're headed towards something similar with careers. Call it dead career theory. It's a future where most work is recycled from the same old models, where individuality gets stripped out and where human skill is treated as a luxury instead of the standard. Will there come a day in the not too distant future where bots are going to be working with bots to support and serve other bots? And if so, how are people going to afford to buy the things that these bots are producing if they don't have jobs themselves? Here's the good news. AI itself isn't the villain here. It's how it's implemented and how we use it. If it's built off of actual knowledge and real world experience and trained by the people who actually have deep expertise, rather than being a cheap thrown together flea market tool, I feel that there's value in it. And if we treat AI like a complement, a way to take grunt work off of our plates so we can focus on something more strategic, more creative, or the human parts of our job, can help us innovate a lot faster. I feel like it can help us make better decisions with better and more accurate data, reaching more people and executing ideas that we would have never had the time or the resources to tackle on our own. But if we let it replace those human elements entirely, we're going to wake up to a world where everything sounds the same, everything looks the same, and everything works the same. And at that point, it won't matter how efficient we are, because we'll have stopped creating anything worth paying attention to. Listen, AI can be an incredible tool. But like any tool, it's only as good as the person using it. The challenge for companies, their leadership teams, the workers, for all of us, is to resist the temptation to hand over the keys completely, because the future of work doesn't have to be soulless. But it will be if we're not very careful.